I had a good friend text me the other day and say, I want to send a knife sharpener to my dad for Father's Day. Which one would you recommend? I recommended this one because this one is so easy to use. It's so versatile. It'll also do scissors, which we will explain. But Chef Rick Roman is showing you a knife that I know because I know Chef Rick for a long time.
That's right.
This is a knife from your catering days.
25 years old.
25 years old. Now, this knife, you could try using a steel.
Yeah.
But you have to hold a steel just at the right angle, and you have to pull it towards you. That means you're pulling it toward your naked hand.
Dangerous.
That is just a recipe for disaster. What we're going to do is take old knives that have lost their edge and breathe new life into them.
That's right. You know, David, the most important tool in the kitchen is a knife, but so many people, this is what they do. They pull a knife out of the drawer, and they saw, and they push, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't cut. So you take that dull knife, you go to our 3 stages of sharpening. First of all, tungsten carbide. What does that mean? Harder than the steel on the knife. That's going to actually break down the edge of the knife and re-edge the knife. Then you have stage 2, diamond honing bars. Those are going to start to really smooth it out and give you that sharp edge. And then last but not least, David, ceramic polishing. Now, this knife, which a moment ago you saw, I couldn't cut the sponge. Check this out. Watch what happens after I sharpen it with Chefologist. Not only does it go through this sponge, it cuts a perfect cut. It's like brand new again. It's like giving somebody brand new knives.
I mean, if you've got a drawer in your kitchen where knives go to die, right? And we all do. Yeah. We all have a drawer where we put old knives in our kitchen because they've lost their edge. Now, you bought that knife once upon a time because you loved it. But when it became dull, it was not safe to use anymore. You couldn't bear to part with it, so you put it in a drawer. And you kept telling yourself, well, you know, on my day off, I'll go to the knife sharpening store. You know when that's going to happen? On the 12th of never.
Yeah, I've never.
Yeah, on the 12th of never. Now, I'm noticing that you are able to sharpen serrated knives or a bread knife.
That's right. Serrated knives, so many sharpeners don't do it. Now you can take your serrated edge, and now when you cut through those soft breads, notice how it doesn't tear. You get perfect cuts because when the knife is sharp, David, it goes where you want it to go. So you get those perfect cuts. It's safer. And
I'm not even sure where the knife sharpening store is.
Yeah, exactly.
Much less making time to go there. Now, what about a coated knife?
Yeah, so coated knife. But here's what I want to show you. This is what makes our Chefologist knife sharpener unique. First of all, suction cup design. So this large suction cup is going to stick to any smooth, clean surface, Corian, granite, marble. All you have to do is twist this dial. So now this does not move. So instead of having to hold the sharpener in your hand and it be dangerous, you can actually use one hand, and there's little arrows on top. All you do is drag in one direction. Lift and drag, David. Lift and drag. Now, if it's a really dull knife, maybe 3 to 5 times per pass. But once I've gone through each stage, even this coated knife, when you go to use the knife, David, it's sharp, right? So when the edge is right, David, it just glides through the food. I mean, that's the way every single knife in your drawer.
Every summer garden salad
think about
should be this easy to prepare, right?
That's right. So brand new edges.
And let me show you colors real quickly before we go any further, because I know a lot of you are now shopping for a color. You choose a color because it makes you smile. They all do exactly the same job. Now, this is the red. Most popular, 1,700 remain in the red. This is blue, 600 remain in blue. This is gray, 1,300, and finally the black. Fewer than 1,000 to go around in that black. This is all going very quickly. Now, the price and the easy pay will all go away at end of day today. That's why you want to make your purchase now. Pick up one of these as a gift idea. This would be great for a housewarming. I just helped someone celebrate a birthday, and instead of buying just one gift, I got a gift basket.
Ooh.
And I filled it full of things. I went shopping for goodies, and it was so much fun. This could be something in a gift basket for a new homeowner,
100%.
for a graduate who's just starting their first kitchen. Maybe you fill it full of gadgets you picked up from in the kitchen with David, right?
Yeah, 100%. And David, this is what I love. This suction cup, notice this. I can't move it, right? It's secure to the countertops. That means I'm not putting my hand near the blade. But here's the other great thing. Now, you'll notice I moved this to the edge of the counter. One of the stages, the 4th stage, which is all the way on the right, you don't want to put your knives here. This was made for scissors. So now you can take craft scissors, you can take kitchen shears, and you literally, a scissor is only one edge, right? Only one side. That's why it's a separate sharpener, because unlike a knife that has 2 edges, each side of the scissor only has one. So we put a special scissor sharpener. So now that's like a razor's edge on your scissors, your craft scissors, your kitchen shears, you name it. So many of those go dull.
This is something that always amazes me. Now, how many of us have thrown food processors away because the blades have become dull?
Exactly.
We're like, oh, well, this is broken. No, it's not broken. It's just that the blade is dull. So what if you could take that chopping blade and sharpen it? Now suddenly your food processor that is perfectly fine is going to be used again because the blade is sharp again.
And you know, David, you could never do this if you had to hold the sharpener. Because this is secure, I can use both hands. So now that old processor blade is like brand new. I keep saying this, when you get our sharpener, it's like getting a brand new set of knives. And I'll just go back to this because this example is the best. Everybody has a knife in their drawer. They take it out. They try to cut with, and this is what's dangerous, by the way.
What's the old phrase? That wouldn't cut hot butter.
You're using pressure. You notice how everything's moving. Well, now I can go to my sharpener.
Now, because that is so dull, how many times would you sharpen it?
Probably about 6 to 8 times through each pass. And as you're pulling the knife, David, you can actually start to feel it re-edge. I can start to feel the edge come back. I can feel...
Now, Rick, I'm also realizing that once we put a new edge on a knife, there might be some little burrs and little pieces. Should we wipe it clean before we use it?
We should always clean your knife before you use it after you sharpen it. But now let's go back to that sponge, David. Again, once again, from dull to, we're not talking sharp, we're talking
holy mackerel, look
razor.
at that.
Look how thin it cuts. So this knife's like brand new. Just a moment ago, it couldn't cut through that sponge.
And I mean, and if your knife can't cut through a sponge, it is super dull.
Oh yeah.
Super dull. And you paid a lot of money for that knife, and you bought it once upon a time because you loved it. So why wouldn't you want to breathe new life into it? What about pocket knives?
Think about it. Think about this time of year. Guys are going fishing. People are hunters. You know what? Even a small knife, and that's what I love about it. It doesn't matter the size of the blade, but you've re-edged it. How about if you have something like a big cleaver, okay? A big, heavy cleaver. That tungsten carbide is going to literally shave metal off the edge.
Now, speaking of pocket knives, when my granddad died, my mom's dad, she kept his pocket knife because he always had it in his pocket. Now, it was probably dull as pond water.
Oh, yeah.
But you could take that old knife and run it through the sharpener and it'd be great again.
Oh,
and
easily.
she could use it for whatever. So it would not only be sentimental to her, but also useful to her, right? And Granddad would want it to be useful, right? That's why he carried it. So this is what it's all about. Now, even the knives that you're using every day could use a little refresher, right? We don't carry that many knife sharpeners at QVC. And I doubt many of us leave the house and go to the store and say, I'm going to buy a knife sharpener.
Exactly.
Because I'm not sure that's on the top of the list, right? I'm usually out shopping for milk and coffee and, you know, detergent and things like that. That's what's on my list. I never have a knife sharpener on my list. Now, serrated knives, this is a serrated steak knife.
It's a steak knife. Think about all those steak knives. I mean, think about every knife in your drawer. Imagine if you could say, I want it to be like brand new again. With this Chefologist knife sharpener, it's turning every blade in your drawer to that brand new edge that you remembered when it was new, but you can have it every day.
Chef Rick Roman, already 3,000 ordered in this presentation. Now, here's what I have left. If you want red, I have 800 left in the red. If you want blue, 200 left. Gray, 600 left in the black. 600 left in the black. Mr. Roman, always a pleasure, sir.
David, so good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Take care.
Were you playing paintball? Is that what that little bracelet's all about?
No, my son's in a baseball tournament, and I need this for the weekend to get back in for the parking.
Get back into the stadium. All right, fantastic. All right.
Otherwise,
I love that about you. All right, go support the little ones. Hey, let's check in with Rosina because she's going to talk to us about the world's thinnest cookie.
Yeah, the world's thinnest cookie.